Hey guys, what's going on? Chad here with Greenlight Shooting, and welcome to this new vlog. So I've got something special for you today, but before we get into that, just to recap you on a little bit of the personal stuff. So this is the living room. I didn't show you guys the living room last week, so this is our new house, and so we got the kitchen over there, and we got a living room here. We just actually painted these walls. They're supposed to be gray, but they're looking a little bit baby blue, but that's all right. It's cool to, just be able to kind of make this place our own and stuff like that. And you should have seen it before. This whole wall was completely red. Over here was all like a tan color, and then that kitchen kind of was all yellow and with a red door. So it was a little bit crazy, but it's cool to be able to kind of make it our own. So that's it with the house, and then the wedding is in exactly 2 months, so that's coming up really fast. So we kind of put that stuff on the back burner while we're getting the house going. So now we're gonna try and get back up on that and really hit that hard. So it's coming up quick. But yeah, so I guess that's kind of it for personal stuff. So the big news I wanted to share with you on this vlog, though, is that I wrote a book. So that's right, for the past couple months, I've been just working super hard on this book. It's been a blast, and I'm calling it Greenlight Shooting's Introduction to Firearms. And I'm just going to make it an ebook. I'm going to put it up on Amazon or whatever. And it's not that big either, I guess, depending on what you're reading it on. I would guess maybe like 50 pages or so. So it's nothing huge by any means, but I hope that it's a really good resource for some beginners out there. When I was first learning about firearms, there were some good resources out there, certainly, but I don't know, I just always felt like if it was a video or a text or something, I just kind of felt intimidated by it, or maybe almost like I was getting talked down to a little bit. So I really wanted to make sure that this book was very kind of casual and had a good voice to it and felt almost like a conversation. So that's kind of the road I took with it, and it's a beginner's book. It's an absolute, like, for people who have shot once or twice in their life, or maybe not at all, and they want to just learn more about firearms but weren't quite sure where to start. So hopefully this is a great resource. I assume if you guys are watching this video and you're on my channel that you probably have a relatively extensive knowledge of firearms, so maybe this book isn't for you, but maybe you know someone or something who could benefit from it. So I always appreciate the support, and I wanted to give you guys just kind of a sneak peek into the book. So yeah, I'm just going to read the first page of it or so, just to give you an idea of what it's about, how it's written, stuff like that. So yeah, let's dive into that. Alright, so here's my computer here. So I've got the book kind of broken up into sections, and then those sections broken up into chapters. So this first section is called Introduction to Me and Greenlight Shooting, and the first chapter is Who Am I and What is this book? So I'm just going to read you guys that first chapter, and it's like literally one page, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of a teaser for it. So here goes the first chapter of the book. So my name is Chad Schellebarger. I'm a 25-year-old normal guy living in Utah with my beautiful wife. Not quite wife yet, but when this book comes out, it will be probably. I own a company that does video production work for other companies around the western United States. I graduated from the University of Utah with a bachelor's degree in film and media arts. Today, two of my biggest passions in life are cameras and guns, but it wasn't always that way. Growing up, I was never the stereotypical hyper-masculine guy. I was relatively small-framed, I played soccer instead of football, and I knew absolutely nothing about firearms. They intimidated me. The only things I ever heard about firearms was how devastating they were and how many lives they had taken. Because of that, I was honestly afraid of guns and wanted nothing to do with them. As I got older, firearms started working their way back into my mind. They started becoming something cool. My friends would always talk about the exciting hunting trip I missed out on, or the newest Call of Duty video games that I had to check out. I eventually got into first-person shooter video games and really enjoyed learning about what was out there, even if my only learning source was Call of Duty. But as time went on and my interest grew deeper, the thing that really got me intrigued was a television show called Top Shot. I was glued to the TV screen whenever that show would come on. I would watch these guys shoot with these amazing shots on these unforgettable courses and think, man, I really want to do that. A part of it was definitely the competitive side in me, but more importantly, I realized these guys were having a great time shooting guns and no one was getting hurt. That's when it clicked. Shooting and firearms don't always have to be about defending yourself or hurting someone else. They don't have to be about pure politics and big egos. With proper care and a safe mindset, shooting can be an extremely fun and rewarding sport. So here's the thing, I wanted to get into shooting because I thought it would be a blast to see if I could hit those tiny targets way out there with a gun. I'm not one of those guys that's going to preach Second Amendment or push gun politics on anyone. I just want to help people like me who love the idea of learning more about guns and the sport of shooting, but just aren't sure where to start. I want to help the people that feel intimidated to walk into a gun store because they have no idea what to expect and don't want to do something wrong. I've been on both sides of that story. I've been the kid who didn't dare walk into the gun store, and I've been the gun store employee when someone walks in and knows absolutely nothing about guns. People always say there are a million books on guns for beginners out there. Why would anyone care about this one? It's true, there are tons of good information out there for beginners, but I think what this book has to offer over everything else can be summed up in one word: relatability. I've been in your shoes. I know what it feels like to rack the slide back on a semi-automatic handgun and think I broke it because it was stuck in the rear position. That's a true story, by the way. It was a $1,300 Colt Gold Cup match, 1911. And I was freaking out. But anyways, I know what it feels like to be completely lost when the people around you are talking about the differences between generations and Glocks. Hell, I know what it feels like to be completely lost when people are talking about what a Glock even is. The point I'm trying to make is I know what it feels like to be intimidated by guns and the people who love them. I remember what things I wanted to learn right away and what things made the most impact on my gun knowledge. I also remember the things that clicked in my mind and made learning the easiest. So I hope to use those things and pass them along to you so that you can feel confident walking into a gun store, a shooting range, or even your crazy uncle's house when he shows you his newest gun. Alright, so that was the first chapter in that book. The next one goes into green light shooting, and then the next ones here, to give you an idea on the layout of the book, is, and then it talks about how the book's going to work. Next section is the basics of the gun, so very, very basic overview, the parts of a gun, different classifications and how they work, double action versus single action, and then we move into section 3, which is ammunition, so caliber, how ammunition works. And then section 4 is how to handle the firearm. So the 3 golden rules that I use, working the slide and how to clear a firearm, magazines, loading and unloading. Section 5 is the basics of how to shoot a gun. So chapter 13 is the basics, and the grip, the stance. And by the way, I should say that these all go over handguns, rifles, and shotguns. I tried my best to keep everything in there so that it was comprehensive for the most part. Next up, we've got lining up your sights, clearing a malfunction. Section 6 is maintaining your gun, so field stripping the gun, cleaning and lubricating, and storing options. The next section is buying your first gun, so questions to ask yourself before you buy. The general buying process, just kind of an overview for people who aren't quite sure what to expect. Questions to ask your salesman. And then section 8 is the conclusion. So end it with some your social responsibility as a gun owner, and then just a thanks for reading. So that is the layout of the book. Like I said, it's not going to be huge, maybe 50 pages or so, but I think it should be pretty comprehensive, and I hope that it's a good resource for some people out there who are just getting into it. So like I said, I'm going to try and get up on Amazon within the next week or two here, and then for you guys, for just my green light shooting viewers, I'm actually going to put the book out there for the first 7 days completely for free. So for you guys that are interested in it, or maybe know someone who might benefit from it, 7 days completely free. After those first 7 days, it's going to jump up to 99 cents, I think, just for some people who maybe just didn't have a chance to pick it up but wanted to. And then after those first 2 weeks, it's going to jump up to the full price of $2.99. Now, $2.99 is not that much money, right? I mean, it's less than a coffee at a fancy coffee shop. So obviously this isn't about the money. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme for me. It's something I really honestly enjoy doing. I like sharing my knowledge and what I've learned and stuff like that. So it's just, I don't know, man. It was kind of a passion project for me, and I'm really excited for it. So let me know what you guys think, and I will keep you updated on how it goes and when it goes live. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, if you like the vlogs, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Sorry about the extra long video this time. I had a lot to say, obviously. So, but we will see you next Sunday on Green Light Shooting. Thanks so much for watching.